Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my friend's expensive honeymoon after she chose a destination I can't afford? I, 26 female, have been best friends with Lisa, 28 female, since we were kids. We've always been close, and I've been so excited for her wedding. A few months ago, Lisa asked me to be her maid of honor and I gladly accepted. We started planning everything together and it's been a lot of fun. Recently, Lisa mentioned that she and her fiancé are struggling to afford their dream honeymoon to Bora Bora. They have been saving, but unexpected expenses have come up. Knowing how much this trip means to them, I wanted to help. I offered to contribute a significant amount of money towards their honeymoon as a wedding gift because I am earning very well. However, when Lisa and her fiancé finalized their plans, they chose the most luxurious resort in Bora Bora with all the bells and whistles. The cost was astronomical, far beyond what I had initially anticipated. When Lisa sent me the breakdown of the costs and my share, I was floored. It was more than double what I had budgeted to give them. I approached Lisa and explained that I couldn't afford to contribute that much money. I offered to give the original amount I had planned, which was still quite generous, and Lisa got upset and said I was ruining her dream honeymoon. She argued that as her best friend and maid of honor, I should be willing to make sacrifices for her big day. This has caused a rift between us. Lisa's barely speaking to me and she's even considering asking someone else to be her maid of honor. Our mutual friends are divided. Some think I'm being reasonable while others believe I should find a way to come up with the money to make Lisa's dream come true. I feel awful because I don't want to let my friend down, but I also can't justify spending more than I can afford. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my friend's expensive honeymoon after she chose a destination I can't afford? Edit. I was thinking of giving around $5,000 to $7,000 as a gift. Again, I endeavored to contribute, not pay for the whole thing. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Let the trash take itself out. Not the a-hole. Also, don't pay anything, not even a dime. She's not your friend. She's shown you that. The fact that you're even considering giving in shows that you're just too nice. Nice people will be used and sucked dry by manipulative users like your friend. She's even considering asking someone else to be her maid of honor. Let her. Just say, I'm disappointed but okay. Then watch what happens when other person hears the price tag for the honor. Your friend is childish and immature. The important thing about a honeymoon is being with your new spouse and spending time with each other. My in-laws were very generous, and my husband and I went on a cruise. But I had a friend who rented a cabin in the woods near a stream. I wouldn't even give her the opportunity. I'd make that decision for her and back out myself. This isn't a friend, it's a leech. Exactly. She just put a price tag on a friendship. She's the a-hole. The only person who should be finding a way to make her dream come true is the doofus marrying her. Who in their right mind expects their friend/maid of honor to fund a lavish, extravagant honeymoon? Their inability to budget or delay the honeymoon until they can afford it isn't your problem. I'd take the money I'd budgeted to give them and go on vacation myself to decompress from dealing with the crazy. She took your kindness and ran with it. It would be a drastically different situation to work with you and be reasonable. If you make her dream come true this time, you can also expect to be approached when they have kids and can't afford them either, and then for private school. You'd be teaching her that your boundaries are to be stomped on, and that entitlement is rewarded. Preferably to Bora Bora. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving the vacation after my brother expected us to be free babysitters? My brother and sister-in-law invited my wife and I to go on vacation this week with them and their 3 children, 3, 7, and 10. When I say invited, I mean that they asked us to go to the cabin our parents own. They weren't paying for anything for us, which is relevant. Also relevant is that my wife takes their 3-year-old for the day, 3 to 5 days out of the week. It's supposed to be 3, but they often drop him off more. So anyway, we all head up to the cabin together, and the first night, they ask if we can stay in so they can have a date night, which we were fine with. But then the next day, 10-year-old wanted to do something that the younger 2 couldn't participate in, and they expected us to just take the other 2. We were upstairs getting ready for the day, and sister-in-law came to our room and said, "We're going to go do activity," and didn't tell us she left the younger 2 downstairs. So we were extremely annoyed. Then that afternoon, my wife and I decided to go bar hopping, and sister-in-law got upset and said, "I thought this was a family vacation," which felt rich considering she'd left her 2 kids for 4 hours that morning. So my wife and I went anyway, and when we got back we were pretty drunk, and brother said something snarky about us being hung over the next day. We weren't. The next day, we go to the lake and my wife and I go get drinks. And sister-in-law pulled my wife aside and said she didn't think we should be drinking while watching the kids. At that point, I was really done, and it turned into an argument where my brother said they brought us on a family vacation, and I pointed out we were all there for free. And he said that he thought we were going to help out. So, my wife and I left to go get our own place to stay. And now sister-in-law is texting pictures to us, saying the kids are hurt that we left, and that her and my brother are so confused, etc., acting like we are being unreasonable. And from my perspective, this is a vacation for us as well, not an extension of what my wife does for them all the time, for free. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. WTF. They seriously are delusional if they think that you and your wife aren't allowed to drink or do anything but watch their kids, while they have fun. You were right to leave when it became obvious that it wasn't a vacation for you, but rather a babysitting trip. After that ridiculousness, I wouldn't even be watching their kids 3 times a week anymore, since it's obvious they don't respect you or your time. But that's just me being petty. Agreed, and I love the emotional guilt trip of texting pictures of their kids. That's some serious narcissistic BS. I'd send some back with thumbs up from the bar, sipping a cocktail, but I'm petty. They are taking advantage of you. I think you need to wean them off the expectation that you and your wife are their unpaid nannies. Wife needs to be unavailable to sit. When your sister-in-law drops by with the kids, don't answer. Or grab your purse and be just heading out. Or better yet, no. You don't owe them an answer or an explanation of why you don't want to be constantly roped into parenting their kids. Or just start taking shots anytime you're around them. This works because you're not fit to babysit. And it numbs the entitled a-holery of your brother and sister-in-law. I fully agree the wife needs to stop babysitting. 3 to 5 days a week unpaid is disrespectful. I'm sure there are way more things she'd rather be doing. OP, back your wife in this. Heck, tell them it's your deal, because they're obviously being entitled. I've been telling my wife we need to cut back the babysitting, but she genuinely enjoys it. I do need to make sure she develops boundaries about how many times a week, and start and end times though. Next story. Am I the a-hole for canceling my vacation because my sister is sending her kids? We've been planning a family vacation for months. This would be my first vacation in 15 years, and it's kind of a big deal. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, and this year is just the first year I've enjoyed getting out. My sister has had her struggles in her adult life, and she has 3 kids that spend half their time with their grandparents/my parents. They're fun kids, but they aren't well-mannered. They don't listen unless it involves yelling or being asked multiple times. Telling them to not do something often results in them doing it when nobody's looking. Today we get together for Father's Day, and I find my sister isn't going, but she's still sending her kids. This frustrated me quite a bit, but I definitely wasn't going to speak my mind around the kids. I decided to give it a few hours and reset to observe what I could expect. 3 kids spanning 4 to 6 just bullying adults until they get what they want. My vacation quickly began to look like I was just leaving the state to babysit. I'm not a parent, I'm not good with kids, but I don't hate kids. I don't want to spend my week trying to get a handle on 3 kids at a campground, despite my parents would still do most of the work. I told my parents I wasn't going on vacation, and that I didn't sign up to watch my sister's kids. I know my mom feels terrible, and I feel like I've put her in a difficult spot. My sister has a job and boyfriend and less free time than I'm sure she'd like, but she's no single mom with no support system. I don't think it's right to just expect someone to take your kids on vacation while you sit at home. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. No, it's your vacation, and if you won't have a good time, then don't go. It seems a valid reason to say no. Looks like a lot of people are going to be away. Sounds like the perfect opportunity to have a quiet staycation. Nope, they are her circus, her clowns. There is nothing wrong with taking a vacation for yourself. Sounds like sister is trying to get a vacation for herself away from the kids by taking advantage. What a prick. The kids that she only had 50% of the time anyway. Ignore them, not a-hole, but please take a vacation of some kind. One you will enjoy. Oh, I've got a few much-needed life upgrades on the way instead, and few parks around me to still make it out on the water. Appreciate the kind words. Solo travel isn't for everyone, but I have grown to love it over the past couple of years. I'm married and have 2 excellent teens, but I'm the one in charge of everything when we take trips and it isn't very relaxing. I would never take my nephews/nieces on a trip at 4 to 6 years old, let alone my only opportunity to get away. Mini update. Thanks all. I was feeling pretty crappy and selfish with the plans of leaving tomorrow morning. After calming down and reading your responses, I think I made a right and understandable choice. I'm going to stick to it. To those wanting to make sure I get a good vacation, I promise to make it my most enjoyable and active staycation to date. I still have a state park pass, and kayaks aren't bad. I'll certainly make the most of it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my wife didn't give me what I wanted for Father's Day to get back at me? I very well could be wrong and maybe I deserved it, but I can't be sure. I will include both sides of the argument. She does contribute to the household despite not working, so no, I don't want to hear comments about finances. She has plenty of money saved from when she was working prior to giving birth. So for Mother's Day, I had to work. My wife was at home with all 4 of our children all day. Our kids are 13, 10, 9, and 6 months. I had been working for 2 weeks straight at that point and hadn't gotten the opportunity to grab her anything for Mother's Day. So after I got out of work, I went shopping. I got home at 8 p.m. Therefore, her Mother's Day sucked. All she wanted for Mother's Day was alone time, where she wasn't needed/wanted at all day. She just wanted to relax without being bothered basically. And I totally get it. But I had to work. I didn't even get out of work until 6:30 p.m. She did absolutely appreciate the gift I had gotten, something she had said she wanted in passing for a few months, but she said that she was bothered because I could have gotten that gift any other day and that her one request had been neglected. She wasn't super upset, but unfortunately she asked for a back rub as a kind of you can make it up to by doing X type of situation. So I started rubbing her back and fell asleep damn near immediately because I was just exhausted from work and all else. So I kind of botched her day. Fast forward to Father's Day yesterday. I had to work, but only until noon. She asked me what I wanted for dinner that night, but I didn't have a preference. She asked what I wanted to do for Father's Day and suggested some things like bringing the kids fishing or going swimming. And honestly, I didn't want to. All I wanted to do was relax and work on my truck uninterrupted. As soon as I said this, she said, "No, you can hang out with the kids for Father's Day." I asked her why. It's Father's Day after all. Shouldn't I be able to get what I want? I admittedly wasn't making the connection between Mother's Day and Father's Day. She said, why should you get a stress-free, kid-free, relaxing day of no interruptions when you couldn't give me even a sliver of that on Mother's Day when I asked for it? Again, you can hang out with the kids for Father's Day. She then turned and walked away, leaving the kids with me. Am I wrong for being upset about it? My wife said I have zero ground to stand on, because for the past several Mother's Day and birthdays of hers, I've worked, and she hasn't been able to do anything that she has wanted to do. Her most recent employer gives all moms Mother's Day off and all dads Father's Day off, as well as all birthdays. So she's always had a day off. But I never have those days off. So it's difficult to do anything for her those days. Why didn't you give her a makeup day on your next day off? Or why didn't he hire a babysitter for some or all of Mother's Day rather than go shopping at the end of the day? Man, that's a good idea. That would have meant OP could focus on his stressful job but still get exactly what his wife wanted. If you don't have a regular babysitter, maybe he could have reached out to a family member? For the past several Mother's Day and birthdays of hers, I've worked, and she hasn't been able to do anything that she has wanted to do. Holy crap, dude. Get it together. Just because you can't give her a day off on Mother's Day/her birthday doesn't mean you can't give her a day off. Pick a different day. Find someone to watch the kids, get her a hotel room, and let her have 24 to 49 hours away from the house. The day of Mother's Day is arbitrary. It's the idea of Mother's Day that is important. If you miss the day, you can't throw up your hands and say, oh well, pick a different day and give the poor woman a break. And if there is no possible other day, then clearly the current system is badly broken, and she has a lot more cause to be upset. Yep, she's wanted one day to herself for years. And he works all these hours, but gives her no spending money? She has to eat away at whatever savings she had pre-kids? If I was her, I'd leave. And I'd leave him with the kids. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my concert tickets that I paid for to my ex-wife? I, male 39, was married to Michelle, female 36, for 5 years. We have 3 kids, 14-year-old boy, 12-year-old girl, and 9-year-old girl. Michelle decided that she was no longer attracted to me and told me to move out when our youngest was 3. Divorce was very hard on both me and the kids, especially the 2 oldest ones. Michelle then hooked up with some guy, got pregnant, and tried to date the guy. Even moved in with the kids with the guy for 2 years. She left the guy when her daughter was due. Anyways, I am right now co-parenting with her and try to be as civil as I can for my kids' sake. My son's birthday is coming up. Michelle texted me that his favorite band is in town, and if I can buy tickets. This is the band my son and I love the most. It's our thing. When I was going through divorce, he learned about this band from me, and we spent hours talking about it and listening to their music. I splurged and bought really awesome tickets. I texted Michelle and told her not to mention anything to him, so he will be surprised on his birthday. I even made a reservation on his favorite restaurant. Michelle got furious. She said she meant buying tickets for her and our son. I told her that this is our thing, and she doesn't even know the band's songs. She called me a self-absorbed narcissist jackass. She said it was her idea to begin with, and the least I could do was taking care of the kids, including her daughter, so she can have fun. Am I the a-hole here? P.S. Michelle has no intention of reimbursing me since she has no job. Now for the top comments. Sounds like not the a-hole to me. You bought the tickets for you and your son. It's your special thing. And you even planned a surprise for his birthday. Michelle can't just assume she gets in on that. Plus, she called you names instead of appreciating what you did for your kid. Co-parenting is tough, but boundaries are important, especially with exes. Huge not the a-hole. She's trying to be the hero and take your son to what will probably be a key memory for him, without wanting to fund it. She had the affair, not you, and she is trying to use it. Enjoy the concert with your son and enjoy every damned minute. You need to tell your son right away, because she will definitely try to ruin it by planning something the same day or spoiling the surprise. Why would you give her money for her ticket to anything? Lol.